Hi everyone, welcome to Watu. This is a bi-weekly production where we discuss social justice, religion, humanity and culture. Watu is a Swahili proverb that means a person is people. The proverb was used in Africa to remind people the importance of teamwork, because individually we're weak, but together we're strong. Welcome. Hello. How are you guys?
Hello.
And hello everyone. Everybody listening out there, hello.
Hello, everybody.
All right. So today we want to talk about, like Christina said, what? A controversial topic?
This is a very controversial topic. Please do not attack us.
Yeah, but I think we need to talk about it.
You can attack us.
Yeah, right?
They'll give us something to talk about.
Sometimes we can talk about controversial stuff and try to like understand, and because some controversial stuff are actually things that affect us every day, right? It's things that affect people in
somebody's got to talk about it.
Yeah, daily basis. So you have to talk about it. Can't pretend that it doesn't exist. So I want us to talk a little bit about attitudes of laziness within a relationship, but we're going to focus mostly on lazy men.
He said it, we didn't. I mean, I would just like to point that out. Uncle said these people, they like to be talking. Uncle, you said about what?
About lazy men.
He said it again. All right, there we go.
Like those male that are so lazy in relationships.
He said it.
Yeah. All right.
You hear that?
So, what are some of the common behaviors or attitudes that lazy men exhibit or show?
When I think before we get into it, we should talk about what kind of lazy. Like, are we talking lazy emotionally, lazy physically, lazy? What are some other ones? Just don't
physically.
move. Yeah, physically, mentally, emotionally. Are we talking about all of the above, or should we break it down?
For me, I feel like we should just talk in general, like as far as laziness, because laziness encompasses all those, like physical, mental, emotional.
But there's different. I think that there's people that aren't physically lazy, but they are lazy when it comes to like the emotional load in the family, or the mental load.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's others that are really good emotionally, mentally, but like they would rather play,
Video games
all day
rather than get up and do something.
Yeah. Please.
And then there's those, unfortunately, that are lazy in all aspects.
Yeah. So what are we talking about? All in general?
All in general. We can touch both areas.
Okay.
All right.
Of laziness.
So call it out if there's a specificity.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's all in general.
I'm sure as we go, we're gonna see all types of
it'll
different
pop
types
in,
of
jump out, and some areas will be more highlighted than the other ones.
Definitely.
But what are some of those attitudes that called behaviors that lazy people show in relationships? Like
I mean, like a lot of men tend to like. You know how they say that you can't, a man can't read a woman's mind and vice versa, But like, I feel like a lot of men tend to miss like little, like you have to tell them like what's going on. Like you sometimes you can just look at your partner and be like, oh, they're not feeling okay. What can I do to like, help them feel better? But they would just let you be in that state that you are in. I feel like that's a state of laziness, like not working hard for your significant other and try to like see if there's anything that you can help. Like either it could be this is more emotionally actually. This is emotional laziness. Yeah, something like that.
So you think they should pay more attention to like what's happening?
Yeah.
Context clues.
Lack of awareness. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, then what about taking that a step further? You actually tell them. And they still do nothing.
And they still, yeah. So, empty promises.
Well, it's not even promises. Like, sometimes there's, like, nothing. You know, you tell them like, if you would just do this, and then, but then that adds to the mental load of the woman, right? But then there's no action. There's nothing on the other end.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
When I think about it, I think about this new, I don't know if it's like a theme that just started happening or something, but like men becoming very lazy in the sense of like the pursuit of a woman, or even like just starting to date in general, not just being within a relationship. I notice it a lot outside of even being in the relationship, where men, it's like people are being glorified for doing the bare minimum. And I'm like,
what's an example?
So like for example, okay, for example, I saw a video, this is very drastic, but like for other examples would be like, oh, not opening car doors, not opening doors in general, because, oh, you're independent, you can do it on your own, stuff like that. Or not like planning dates, just being like, oh, let's go out. And then you're like, okay. And then you have to kind of like you guys are choosing. They don't plan it out anymore. Like they don't try to surprise you. They don't try to do nothing. Yeah. It's like, hey, like I just want to hang out with you. There's no plan behind anything.
And what I don't like is the fact that they have this, it's like almost, they're saying as if like men aren't capable of doing that. But I feel like it comes to that whole laziness, thinking that like what you're saying them thinking that they don't have to try anymore, to do much to get the person, or once they do get that person, you know, like they work so hard to get that person, you know, doing, you know, all these, like, let's say they actually do open doors, you know, and these plan out
bare minimum. Yeah. That's the thing.
They do all of this, but then once they do get you, the laziness kick in and they stop doing those things. And now that the pursuit is over, that they have the person that they want, all of a sudden they think that they don't have to do that bare minimum.
Yep. There was a video I saw on TikTok of, university.
Yeah.
And this lady, she had dated her boyfriend for 10 years. 10 years. Waiting for a proposal. Guess how he proposed?
She hasn't been proposed to for 10 years?
10 years. Then all of a sudden, she's driving. He's in the passenger seat.
She's driving him?
She's driving him. He's in the passenger seat. And he pulls out a ring and says, marry me.
Oh.
While they're driving?
In the car.
While they're driving. And
she says no.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I was just waiting to see if you were the one for 10 years. Apanakwedi, you guys.
Decided right now.
Laziness.
While we're at the intersection.
And you just, and then in the car, no effort. That's what I'm saying. There's, I don't know if it's like a theme or it's something that just started happening, but there's no effort in anything anymore. There's no effort. There's no like those movies where people just do grand gestures all of a sudden with no need, no push, no nothing, you know, just grand gesture. People that ask women to be their girlfriend these days, it's like, oh, let's go out.
Yeah.
Excuse me? To do what?
There's no like, I would also say like it's just like romance is dead, but I wouldn't say that for everybody, because you see, I guess like in media people will portray anything, right? Because you can't really be these couples that you see that, you know, the man is actually doing all of these extravagant things for their woman. Like, I don't know what their relationship is out there, but like you see these men who are actually making an effort. There's some that actually do make an effort, you know, like buy their woman like a dress, and then, you know, he plans out this date and he takes her out and just makes her feel special. Like, and he does these, you know, either he would like wash dishes and like just to help her while she's, you know, out there at work or something like that, doing like little things that would make her feel special and make her feel, you know, a lot better. There's men who actually do those things. So it's not like it's not like men are not capable of doing it. It's like they choose not to do it.
Yep.
And like it goes back to that state. If he loves you enough, he's able to do that. If he can't, he can't. If he's not able to, if he wanted to, he would.
If he wanted to, he would.
Yeah.
This lazy mindset that has come over men, I don't understand what it is. Where they think, I think it's the dating apps. They've made it just so simple. Like, oh, you just go on an app, find whoever you like, just tell them, oh, let's hang out and whatever, and that's it.
Yeah.
There's no effort to nothing.
But do you think part of it's like gender roles too? Because you just mentioned for dishes, like he would do dishes to help her out. Why is the dishes
Have to be a woman's job?
right?
Or why does he need to help her out? Why
Like,
can't he just be doing
He
it for
dirtied the
them?
dishes too. You know, so it's like a partnership.
It's definitely like a gender type of thing.
But it's culturally still
Very
the
much,
woman's
yeah.
responsible for the house, but the woman also has to work now. Mm-hmm. Right? So like the 40-hour week was developed for a man to leave the house and work while the woman was home. That whole cultural thing. But
Yeah.
now we have two people who have to work sometimes more than 40 hours, but the men are allowed culturally to come home and sit. Mm-hmm. And then the women are culturally, they're taking care of the home, they're taking care of the children, they're doing all of that. And even the mental load of the to-do list still resides with the woman.
yeah.
To remind her man, like even if he is going to be DIY, even if he is going to be the one that does things around the house, like in some relationships, it's the woman having to remind the man of those things. Whereas like just, I'm lucky mine takes care of stuff that I can just take out of my brain, like I don't need to worry about when the car needs an oil change or,
Uncle is Bob the Builder.
yeah, yes, yeah, he takes care of
And
all
he
that.
can fix it.
And so we divide up stuff kind of without talking about it. It just kind of happens. But it's not, I don't have to carry that. But in some relationships, they got to carry everything.
Yeah. Which is
Yeah.
unfortunate. And it happens a lot. It happens a lot.
It's like a man goes from their mother's house to a woman who he doesn't want to act like his mother, but he wants to be cared for as though she was his mother.
Yeah. Those are the people that we're talking about.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like I'm going to sit here and I'm going to play video games and you're going to
No,
cook
sir,
me
not in
and you're
my
going to pick
house.
up after my dish that I ate the food that you prepared and served to me.
No,
and I'm going to set it here so you can take care of it. Wow.
And then in return, they still have those expectations that you still have to look good. You still have to, cater, make them feel.
Or else
Continue.
they're gonna
What's
go.
the next
or else
question?
they're gonna go outside. and then when they go outside, they have so much energy, and they put on so much effort for somebody that's not their wives.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
But how about the excuse of I'm busy? Like,
Fix it.
You should
Wait,
never.
what?
There's no. If you're in a relationship,
that they're always busy.
it's
They're always busy.
Christina talked to me. We were talking one time, and she said this, right? Like one of the things is like the man would be somewhere, let's say at work, right? The wife is at home. She texts him, "How was your day?" No message. Or she decides to text again. How's your shift going? What time are you coming home? No text message. Mm-hmm. He comes back home and he's like, "I was really busy." You were really busy. At some point, you had a 35-minute break.
Germany, is there not lunch? Do you
You
not
had
lunch?
a 35-minute break. You had a lunch break, 15-minute break. At that point, I'm sure you were looking at your phone. And in that span, you didn't see the message that popped out that says wife or girlfriend. And you didn't care to click enough or just
They're
ask,
blind.
bruh.
Can't see.
So I was busy all day. Makes no sense to me because everybody's on their phone. You are on your phone constantly. It doesn't take that much effort to just be like, I'm okay. I'm good.
That's what I'm
How
saying.
are you doing? Bare minimum.
Laziness. It's literally no effort at all.
Yeah.
Well, and then from a marriage aspect, there's those who like the men do what they want to do, right? So like they'll go read a book or they'll go play video games or they'll go watch YouTube or a movie or whatever, right? They're in the house. But the woman is then needing to cook and clean and take care of the children and all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And there's no, like, the man can't be interrupted because he's doing something important to him.
That has to change because
That's loneliness.
It is.
Because you're bearing everything all on your own, even though you're in a marriage, in a partnership. It's supposed to be a partnership. You guys are supposed to you're supposed to be doing life together, but then at some point it just looks like the female is doing everything. She's basically doing life all on her own.
Like a married single mother.
You might as well be by yourself.
Yeah. So do you think that people usually use I'm busy to just, to portray themselves as actually being busy and, giving that facade of like they're productive? Don't interrupt me. I'm being productive, doing some important things.
If you have something to show for it.
Yeah.
Like we learned. If you say that you're busy, but you don't have anything to show for it, you're not busy. You're not that busy, babe.
Yeah.
And is what you're building for the relationship, or is it, what are you building?
What are you doing?
If you're so busy, something should be progressing.
Yeah.
And not just your like stats on some video game.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And in some cases, you shouldn't be so busy to the point where you neglect your significant other. Mm-hmm. Like you're that busy that you can't text her. You can't, let's say if you guys are not, married, you can't text her. You can't plan dates so then you guys can spend time together. Like even if you're in a marriage, those spontaneous dates, like have a conversation at the end of the day once you guys come together. Like it's never that busy to where you neglect each other. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. And do you think some people use I'm busy for people to feel for pity?
Yeah, just to think that, this person has a lot going on.
I sympathize for you, you're busy.
And wow, you have so much going on. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So, sometimes they want to show like they're overwhelmed. Yeah, why you bother me? This it's overwhelming. The stuff that I'm doing is overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
So
and then the wife or girlfriend will feel like,
they're being bothered.
let me not. Yeah, let me not.
Yeah, let me take on more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because he's always
so
busy.
you're not stressed.
Yeah, he's always busy. One thing that I've noticed, like a lot of people that in that type of a relationship, the lazy one is always wanting to take charge of the finances,
Mm-hmm.
and to get like so they can feel like they're in control, in a way. Have you guys noticed something like that? Because I work with somebody that, she was telling me some stuff about her situation at home with their spouse, and she has like 3 jobs.
Oh.
Yeah. She works like 7
She's
days
married?
a week. Yeah.
No
She works 7 days a
way.
week.
Wow.
So she works Monday through Friday, her permanent job.
Yeah.
And then works on the weekend.
Oh my
Like
God.
after work, she goes to work at a restaurant.
Oh my God.
How is their like life like? Is he jobless?
He works part-time.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. He only works part-time. Like, and
Is there something wrong? Like, I don't want to
I
judge
do not
if
know.
like there's something
She
like.
says there's nothing wrong with him. He just,
Chooses to be part time.
yeah.
Is he at least taking care of the kids?
No.
It will not be my portion in Jesus' name.
But he takes control of all the finances. And so everything she wants to do, she has to ask him.
No way.
Yeah.
With 3 jobs?
Yeah, and she's the one that makes more money than this guy, and then she's just at home, still wants to control their finances, and tell her what to do about the money. That she's pretty much bringing 90% of it.
Well, and when
A moment of silence.
in money, I feel I believe that finances should be mutual.
Yeah.
Regardless of who makes the most money, but you're making decisions together.
Yes.
So never in a marriage should there be one person telling the other person
I agree.
Absolutely not.
No.
this can or cannot happen.
Especially if that person is the one that's making the most of the profit. What's happening?
Isn't it 2 becomes 1?
Yeah.
It's
what
true.
happened?
And that's the idea. She's a Christian. She believes in that idea of like, it's our money. But she gets so frustrated because then it feels like she has no say at all. Like
No.
the dude
that's
just
not
like
good.
controls everything, and she feels she can't just do anything. Yeah, she was very frustrated, and so she feel like he uses their finances as a power and control tool.
Even though she's the
even
one
though,
making them.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so she was very very upset.
I guess from our seat, we can't comprehend what that man is thinking,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's an example of one of these lazy men we're talking about,
Yeah.
right? But like, what is he thinking?
Like what? How? If there's nothing like I don't
not
want to judge
disabled.
God for
He can
the
get a
like yeah,
full-time
that's what I
job,
was
yeah.
saying. Like if there's something wrong, then it's a lot more understanding. But if there's nothing wrong and he's capable of working, like it feels like it should be swapped.
Yeah. I feel so. I feel the same thing.
Culture.
In the biblical or what I hope to have as a marriage, I'm hoping that the man is going to be the leader and provide. It doesn't look that
Yeah.
way in this situation,
No, it's not.
and that's
Yeah,
that's
she's-
very sad.
No, she's not okay. She's like very frustrated with
She's
him.
gonna
And
be tired.
if she's a Christian, then that she probably doesn't believe in divorce. It's
She
just,
does not believe in that either. Yeah.
She's one of those
Are they
sticking
going
it
to
out
counseling or
until
something?
But she's just like, I've tried to talk to him. He just makes excuses. You know,
Do they have kids?
yeah, they have 3 kids.
And he doesn't take care of the kids, but he works part
She still
time.
has to drive from work and go get the kids from daycare.
No way.
yeah,
In
that,
between her
that's
jobs.
that's
Between her
basically
jobs.
she's doing life all on her own.
Yeah, she's just basically a single
Single
mom.
mom.
Yeah,
Yep,
A married single mom.
yeah. So,
It's unfortunate.
so how do you guys think gender roles and societal expectation contribute to this issue of laziness?
It's like
And
you're,
within
you're
the-
taking some of the cultural expectation as the woman owns everything in the house, right? But then as you're not accepting the cultural implications of you're supposed to be the breadwinner as a man.
Yeah.
Like, so they're taking some of the cultural, but then leaving behind like their role in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pick and choose. You guys think?
So what makes us like I feel like talk about this is because we believe in the roles that the woman can be the caretaker of the home, but the man also has to be a provider in the home.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm gonna agree to be a caretaker in the house if you're not providing for everything.
Yeah.
Because then it's like
What are we doing?
If as a woman I need to help with provision, then the man has to help
with
the caretaking.
caretaking. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a partnership.
I think that laziness is not really, there's no gender in it. Like, I think laziness is just a person,
Yep.
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
The person just choosing not to take their responsibility and be lazy, you know? And even though the society plays some role in all these choices, I think being lazy is it's a personal choice.
Yeah,
You just choose it, you know? And do you guys think that when a man is lazy, they're judged harshly than when a woman is lazy?
They have to justify their laziness.
Or do you think it's...
Their laziness is justified, like Miss Amanda said. Like with men, like their laziness is justifiable. When it's a female, I feel like it's worse for female. Because they say, okay, so you know how they say that, oh, you're just a mom, like there's this like saying like, oh, when like the husband comes home and be like, oh, so what did you do all day? You didn't do anything all day. Not realizing she probably had to, wake up early in the morning, had to make breakfast, not only for the kid, make coffee for the husband. The husband goes home. She still had to clean. She still had to do dishes. She has to do a bunch of stuff around the house. Still has to find time to either go pick up the kids, make sure that they're fed, make sure that they're good, homework is done. Yeah, all of these things. And in the midst of that, she still hasn't taken care of herself, but she has to take care of the whole household and the whole family. And then she's still considered, oh, you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything at all. She's considered lazy if she didn't do one specific thing.
Right.
She's considered lazy. But for a man, let's say if they're like, I don't know, they forgot to do something. It's like, oh, maybe he was just
It's
busy.
justified?
He was just busy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But for a woman, she was lazy.
And do you guys think that there's like some cultural or generation factors that influence men being lazy?
Yes.
Yes. Oh,
Like-
definitely.
like what
Especially in
examples?
the African culture. Mungu warehema.
What are some of those things?
Well, first and foremost, they are raised as kings
As kings?
The African son.
Because, and especially if they're firstborn. Yeah. Raised as kings. And, you know, a lot of times it's changed over the years, but I feel like back then, like, guys, especially in an African home, were not taught to do anything. They were so relaxed. Everything is taken care of by the mother or the sisters, you know, stuff like that. But the thing about the African home is that the father still knew that, okay, still need to provide. But I don't know if he was teaching his son those things. I can't speak on that. But I can speak on taking care of a brother. You know, they're not necessarily required to go to the kitchen. They're not required to do their own laundry. They're not required to clean the house. They're not required to do a lot of things. But the girl is required to cook, because she's preparing for her husband, or she's required to take care of her siblings, because that's how she's going to be taking care of her future children, and that's how she's going to be taking care of her future husband and her home. So she's taught all these homemaker stuff because that's what she's being prepared for. That's the role that she's being prepared for. But the men, I feel like they're never really prepared for anything about a home or anything about just taking care of kids or anything about those type of things.
Yeah.
So it's like when you get married, their mindset is that the woman is supposed to be doing all these things.
Yeah.
I don't have to do any of these things.
But they're not taught what they should be doing.
No, they're not taught what they should be doing.
I think that laziness is something that is a learned habit. Like you learn it as you grow. It just become, you know, and it's reinforced as time goes by. The habits. It's just like any other habit that you can change. You can say, I don't want to be like this. I can, you know, but people learn, a lot of people become more lazier if, you know, because they're rewarded for it, you know, for being lazy. And if people would like jump in and say, hey, let's say your spouse, if you don't reward them for their laziness and actually like challenge them for that, they'll probably change those habits. But if you just like assume, like for example, like the African culture you're saying, the wife will probably just let him keep being lazy.
Yeah.
Because they think that's
how they grew up. That's their mindset.
Yeah.
So there's no real challenge there, because it's like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be doing this, and if I lack in doing this, then I'm not doing my part in the home.
Yeah. So you just let them just keep being lazy because and you're suffering. You don't want to say anything about it. You know. And so I don't think that's a good thing.
No.
Yeah, people should be able to speak up and like challenge people that are lazy, like especially if it's a spouse, and tell them, hey, come on, I got all this million things going on. You can also take
a few things.
Take a few things out of my plate and help out, you know.
Like that girl that we were talking about, how she's been with her man for 10 years. She allowed it.
Yeah.
She could have left.
She could have left and set boundaries and let him know that we've been together for, let's say it's been what, 3 years, 4 years. Nothing has happened, and I'm sure that they were living together at that time.
Yeah.
So he basically has a wife. That
he didn't feel like he needed to do anything.
No.
And a lot of people in the comments were saying that, oh yeah, he knows that she's about to leave, and that's why he did what he did with no effort whatsoever, right in the car as she's driving.
So how do you guys think laziness manifests in various areas in relationships? Like how do you guys,
elaborate on that?
Like how do people notice that somebody is being lazy in a relationship?
No effort. No effort to like help around the house.
Yeah.
No effort to like in that scenario that you were just talking about, like actually providing for his home.
Yeah.
And not just letting his wife take on everything.
Lack of you know, empty, like, I wouldn't say even promises, but like your actions are not showing. Like after I've told you many times, like, this is what I need you to do, and then you still not doing it.
Yeah.
Shows that you don't care.
Yeah. And I think when somebody's lazy, sometimes the family suffers financially, like this the financial stress.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
there is.
yeah, it can also leave the other partner feeling neglected and, you know, lonely and unsupported, emotionally drained all the time. You know, it causes a lot of strain in the relationship as well.
It is. Yeah.
When the
it
other
is.
partner is
Is there
super
like
lazy.
on the part of the lazy person, like don't they? I mean, how do they get their self gratification? You know, like their pride and like their own accomplishments. Like the person that works part time when they're able to work more to relieve some of that financial stress. Do they like have like a spirit of poverty? Like what is it that just makes them not want to go for their dreams? Like, I can't imagine somebody's dream is just to sit at home and watch television all day.
It has
Like-
to be a demonic attack or something like that because me, I don't understand. Even at this age that I am in, I would rather work than stay home.
Like to make a difference in somebody's life.
Yeah.
Like,
to
And
help
even in your own, how are you okay
Yeah.
with just sitting at home?
There's
That's what I'm saying. It has to be some type of demonic attack because how is it that you're content with just being stagnant?
Like there's no progress.
He's
in
just there's no progress. He's just stagnant.
like is it depression,
Yeah,
poverty?
no.
Like what is it that's
They're waiting for their
holding
wife to
somebody
like someday,
them?
you know, cause those success to happen in their.
And imagine if they do end up, you know, let's say may God bless her, actually. May God really bless her. Let's say God blesses her. And then within these jobs that she has, right, she gets promoted to be manager and she gets promoted again and again to the point where she's making, you know, a lot of money. She's able to, you know, change her children. She's able to change her and her children's life. And they end up having this, you know, amazing life, and they're, you know, they're financially stable enough. He will still be like that.
Wouldn't he be
He will still be like
embarrassed?
that. I would be embarrassed.
I would
be embarrassed. Very much.
My wife is making all this money. She's the one, like, it's her money that's helping around the house. It's her money that's paying
And he's
bills.
spending it.
I wouldn't even feel good about spending it. But I didn't work for that.
Isn't that like as a man, doesn't he feel like emasculated? Is that a word? Like emasculated? Because the men take value in that, you know, some men take a lot of, you know, value in being able to provide for their woman, being able to protect their woman. He's not protecting his woman. Oof.
Yeah.
But then in the scenario that OT talked about was the man then takes control of the finances. So even if that woman gets promotion after promotion after promotion,
It's his money.
will the family ever really move forward?
There won't be any financial stability because he keeps spending the money.
Yeah, because he's in control of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
God help
maybe
her.
that's how he feels important
gratification.
and gratification.
He
Because
has this money
he's
that's
in
not
control
his,
of
and
it.
he thinks he's okay.
Yeah.
Jesus, fix it.
You can't feel okay from
Nah,
that.
partner, that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will feel embarrassed.
But like we're saying, I think constant enabling somebody to be lazy, especially like your spouse, it just keeps them.
Yeah,
you know,
no.
they will just continue being lazy. You know.
At what point do you just like? I answered my question. Thank you. I answered it in my head. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So, what are some of the consequences of enabling laziness in a relationship? You know, what's going to happen?
Well, before marriage, when you're enabling, you're just asking for a lifetime of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, it's got to be talked about before. There has to be changes before marriage.
Yeah.
If you don't ask for the effort, you're not gonna see.
You're not gonna get it.
And then you're just gonna stick there,
Yeah.
just there.
People need to face consequences of being lazy. At least, like,
It needs to be
talk about
addressed.
it.
Yeah. It needs to be addressed.
Communicate about it.
Yeah, it's especially what Miss Amanda said early on in a relationship before it gets to the point where you guys, you know, are saying I do's and now you're living in this life of just stagnant.
But how are you gonna know that?
If you even get to the ideal,
how are you gonna know that the dude that you're trying to get married to is lazy?
You have to
there's
know.
signs.
There's
Yeah,
signs.
there's
Unless
signs.
you're choosing to like ignore
not
those
see
things.
it. There's
Right,
so many
partner.
red flags.
There's signs. There's signs. Yeah. There's signs.
Like
Yeah.
him feeling like, oh, you're so independent. Like you can do a lot of things for yourself, and I like that about you.
Do you guys feel like a lot of African men that while they're in Africa, they were more motivated to like be the provider of the family, and then they come to America, and somehow laziness kicks in.
I think for some, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Because I think back home, like you have to work. How are you going to eat?
Yeah.
You yourself, how are you going to eat?
have money to marry the woman that you want to
how are
marry?
you going to, you can't even have money to
Exactly.
to marry. You don't have
You have
anything.
to work.
Because the family that you're trying to marry into will look what you have.
Yeah.
If they don't see that you have anything, they're going to be like, oh, why would we let our daughter go into this house?
Yeah. It's true.
And especially at home, that they train the women to be of high value, making sure that they have an education, making sure that they're able to do, everything and anything that they can to, and I can't believe I'm saying this, to make life easier for the man that they're going to marry. But the father are considering their daughters to be of high value. And so if you're a man and you don't have a job, you don't have like a certain work ethic, you're not going to be able to marry that. You're not going to be able to marry that woman.
Mm-hmm. So what changes in America then?
I think it's this whole
Money
podcast. Men podcast. Have you seen these people who are with that? Go on TikTok, Uncle. I will send you some videos because there's.
No, I think here it's because, like some things come a little more easier now, because you can. Yeah, there's dating apps. You can make money not doing a whole lot. If that makes sense. You can just have a part-time job and you just make enough to do. There's no
so you can put up like images that you are well off when you're.
But you're not. But you're content in that state. There's no aspiration to do better. So you're like, oh, okay.
I can pay rent. I'm good. You don't need to you don't see any progress.
No.
That would drive me nuts.
You eat.
The live for today kind of thing instead of what am I building in the future?
Exactly. You eat, you have a job. That's more than you had back home.
So maybe they are bringing it from Africa, right? So that mentality of today.
Yeah.
I'm okay today.
If I get enough today, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Whereas in America, you're expected to build.
Keep building it. Keep building it. Like that's how America is. You can't stop.
And I feel like not a lot, but most of the people that I have, most guys that I have met are in the mentality of they will lack a certain thing in a relationship where they have that work ethic, right? And it comes to this when it comes to different types of laziness, they have the work ethic. They have that mentality of like, I have to be able to work and so that I can provide for this woman and our future together. But then that emotional aspect that they don't have, they be like, I can't spend time with her because I have to work to make sure that I can provide for her. I want to spend time with her, and go on dates with her, but I have to make sure that I'm able to provide for her in the future. It's provide. But then that
there's
emotional,
other things
there's other, exactly.
They have to provide that they're not noticing.
Yeah.
They go to
and to find that balance, it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. It's very hard. Yeah.
So do you guys think there's psychological? This laziness could be some psychological issue with some men. Like, there's any connection with that? Like, somebody suffering psychologically or it making them being lazy?
It could be. They could be dealing with the sense of like maybe some fear.
Yeah.
Fear
Maybe anxiety as well.
Yeah,
too.
anxiety. They don't think they can do better or do things that they can imagine that they can do, but they've limited themselves. So it's like, instead of trying and failing, let me just stay here.
Yeah.
I like that the feeling too comfortable where they are and be like, okay, that's just it, and staying in that comfortable space and not wanting to take a chance and maybe try to achieve more than what they already are right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just get comfortable.
Do you think some lazy men use like guilt to justify their actions and to try to feel to make the partners feel guilty about certain situations. Like, I give you an example. Like, this is a real person that somebody was telling me that when they moved here, their husband started telling them, like, he wasn't working that much. It's just like not doing much. But then, like, it's your turn now to like provide for the family. I'm the reason why you're in America now.
The
Some African.
Like, how do we get anywhere then if we're just trading?
Like, so now,
Now
like,
it's your turn. Now it's my turn.
Yeah.
yeah, it's her turn to work harder because he worked so hard back in Africa, and now they're here. He's the reason. He did all the paperwork and all that stuff for them to be
come
here.
on now.
Because you filled out some forms, I should be grateful.
Yeah, send me back home.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he uses that to be lazy and to control her. So,
Then it makes it worse that she's African because she's probably going to be like, okay, that's fine. And
Yeah.
she's going to do it.
just let it go.
God forbid.
Yeah. So, how can people effectively communicate and address these issues in a relationship?
Don't enable your partner. Before you even start dating, notice those things and nip them before it gets too far, or just leave before it gets too far. Because some people will allow themselves to enter a relationship, especially a guy that knows that the woman is achieving more, but they'll still want to get with her to just kind of like act like, oh yeah, just mess her up.
I think it's important for people to communicate their frustrations. Like, if I'm getting frustrated with you because you're doing nothing and not helping me, I should be able to say it.
Exactly.
And talk about it.
There's a fine line, though. You don't want to make like a list of like, this is what I do every day and this is what you do every day.
Yeah, no.
Because in a partnership, those lists can just hurt you more than help you.
I agree.
But when somebody is seriously just like needs a kick in the behind,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that should happen earlier in the relationship than later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the person you marry should have the personality, the will to want more, right? Mm-hmm. And so, but they want to work with you to build more. That's the whole point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to be dragging anybody, and nobody should be dragging me through life.
Yeah. So what would you say to the person that's like, like what I was like describing earlier, has that mentality of, wanting to provide and, just making sure that the family is good financially, but they're missing the emotional aspect of the relationship? Like, how do you find a balance within that? Because that could be incredibly, like you say, incredibly hard. And a lot of people in relationship are probably dealing with that specific thing, having a partner who is maybe strong in one aspect, but then is lacking in the other aspect. Like, how do you change? Because I know in African culture, a lot of Congolese men, uncle, they're not very romantic people, bless your heart.
Or
uncle.
Kenyans.
And Kenyans. They're not very romantic people. So then how do you find that balance? Because you have to have
Communication. I think you have to communicate.
Yeah. Communication.
And then after like communicating, like you said, nip it in the bud. After so many times and they still not making that effort, then what?
Yeah.
Communicate again.
I think it's also a value thing. So it's not all about money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, life happens,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And money comes and goes. Like, yeah, you need money to pay rent. You need money to buy food, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, when you look back on your life, like, what have you accomplished in the last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years that's lasting versus, because the money's come and gone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you earned, let's say, $50,000 last year. Okay, well, what do you have to show for it?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
you're busy, but
you've
nothing
paid
to show
bills
for.
and you've helped people out, especially like an older sibling, right, that has to help out their younger siblings get through stuff. But what do you have to show for it? And the money doesn't show anything,
Yeah.
right? It's the relationships
Yeah.
that you have and what's happened in those relationships to grow. And so it's kind of just opening up somebody's world vision to realize that it's not all about money. Like, we don't live for money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you guys think that sometimes some people just are, just plain out ignorant about their laziness and or sometimes they just follow themselves. They don't realize that actually their laziness is affecting somebody else.
Some
could be oblivious to it.
yeah.
Especially those who aren't physically lazy. I think that's the ones that are oblivious.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because they're like, I do all this stuff. I never sleep. I'm always going.
Well,
Those are the people that are, they don't acknowledge that they're missing something.
Yeah.
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 And do you think that maybe they don't even notice that that's impacting you?
No.
I mean, no.
They don't. Do they even have time to notice?
Yeah,
if
they're
not
probably so
physically-
like on the go. They don't really notice, and it comes into like they can't even really like.
And so do you think that's their fault or they just need help?
It depends.
I think it's
Yeah,
a
it
mindset.
depends.
Yeah. Because if they're not noticing that that what they're doing is wrong, like then somebody, if you notice, then you should talk. That's what we're talking about, communication. You should be able to talk to them like, hey, I appreciate you working so hard, to provide and stuff, but I think you need to start working on this area as well.
Yeah,
So
that's where communication comes in.
yeah,
at
that's
the
where
end of the day.
communication comes in. So you can at least discuss some of this, right? So what roles do expectation and boundaries play in combating laziness within a relationship?
If you start those off in the beginning, setting boundaries and what you expect from someone, especially before dating, if you put your expectations up, like not, like don't be unrealistic, but if you set your expectations to where you want them, and then you meet somebody, and if you feel like they're not meeting those expectations, you should really question that. Don't just let it go just because you want to be in a relationship or you think they're good looking or something like that, because then later on it's going to be very terrible. And so is missing those boundaries and not setting those in the beginning.
Yeah.
I wonder too, like, is there a way when you're in the dating version of a relationship or stage of the relationship where does this man have a dog that he is responsible for? He has to feed them, water them, clean up after them. No, not water them, but you know what I mean? Take them for
plants.
walks, that kind of stuff, right? Or does he have a houseplant? How is his houseplants doing?
Is it dead?
Like this is something like that you got to water. Now, I don't have a green thumb, so please don't judge me on my houseplants. But, I mean, are they capable of taking care of something else outside of themselves and being mindful of that? I think that's like the first glimpse.
Yeah.
Right? Can they think outside of themselves to something else that needs care?
Are they taking care of themselves?
Yeah, that's the other one. Showering daily,
Ooh.
Showering is very important. Yeah.
First step, are they taking care of themselves? Second, do they
Have something else.
have something else that they take care of?
Yeah.
And a cat does not count. I don't think
No,
a cat
'cause
counts.
They just
No,
take care of
cats
themselves.
Has
Cats
to
take
be
care
a
of themselves.
Cats take care of
Yeah, it's a
themselves.
dog.
Yeah.
Or a houseplant. Because,
Those can die.
Because especially those house cats that aren't house cats, they just let outside. And they
That's
just
why
come
I
back
can't do
occasionally.
cats because don't they lick themselves? That's disgusting. And then they still pet them. Oh my god.
So I think that's important, in this situation, like it's setting boundaries is so important. And one of the ways to set boundaries is like, setting those expectations straight and through communication.
Yeah.
And also creating healthy boundaries to prevent you in the future trying to enable somebody to be lazy, And I think it's important to clearly state your boundaries to people. Like we talked about boundaries before. Clearly state them.
Yes.
Yeah, so they
From
know.
the beginning.
Yeah, from the beginning. Instead of just like talking in parables, especially for men, like if you don't state them clearly, it will never like.
You're
sink
going to
like
be
that.
here like, oh, he might turn out to be that person that I want. Or he might do that. No. If he ain't doing it now,
He's not gonna do it.
Probably not going to do it later on.
And it shouldn't feel embarrassed. It shouldn't feel like you're being controlling or something. Like you're just stating in the beginning. It doesn't really matter because you have to state those boundaries.
You
and
want what you
set
want.
them clear,
Yeah.
so they know that like I do not want this. I do not want this. I do not want this. And if they cross those boundaries, you can always remind them like remember when we were sitting in a certain place, we talked about this. So you shouldn't be doing this at all because that's not what I want.
Yeah, and I don't think it's all about what I don't want, because I mean, we can definitely focus on that. But what I do want, like as a person, as a single person, before I get married, this is what I want for my future.
Yes.
And and it can't be so specific that it's like, I want this by
Yeah, not like
26
that,
and all
yeah.
that kind of stuff. But it's like, I want a partner who's willing to push me, that I can push them, that we can grow together, right? We're moving forward together.
Yeah.
And sometimes, one partner is stronger than the other and they have to carry a little bit more weight. But that we're always moving forward.
Yeah.
And I want somebody in my life that's like that, that's going to push me, that's going to
Challenge me.
Yeah, that's going to challenge me in a good way. And that, like, even there's seasons, there's still not going to be like that. We're both giving 100%, right? Like 100 plus 100 equals 100.
Yeah.
You know, kind of relationship.
And in a relationship, it's never gonna be like we are all giving 100%. That shouldn't be your expectations. Like you can all work together. Even in a race, not everybody is gonna win, right? There's always somebody that's gonna be ahead of the other one, and that's how life is. Like, but at least you have those expectations that we're running the race together, regardless how slow I am or how fast you are. But we are together in this,
Yeah.
you know. And those are the stuff that I was saying about setting those expectations and your boundaries about certain situations.
And I think too is not talking yourself into the fact that you think that this person will change, or you see what you want to see.
Yeah.
I think that happens a lot, especially to women in a dating relationship. You see what you want to see because you want it to work out.
Yep.
And so you almost like
Don't
make it
do
up
it.
in your
Yeah.
head of who
And
this
you're
person
ignoring
is.
all the signs.
Yeah. And it's like not who they actually are, but it's who you think they are,
They
or they're
want- or who
capable of
need-
being.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. And stop creating those illusions in your head.
Yeah.
Like just be realistic in things about what your expectations are going to be, you know? So are there any social or cultural shifts in our society today that are making things change a little bit in regards to, like, you know, the cultural norms that enable men to be lazy?
For some men are like a little bit more progressive, I would say.
Yeah.
Like I see on TikTok, a lot of the men, like there's this one video that I keep coming across. It keeps coming to my For You page. And it's basically this husband who wakes up every morning because his wife is a nurse. So I don't know if he doesn't have a job or he just, stays home, or he goes to work after he does all of that for her. But like he wakes up in the morning, makes her coffee, makes her breakfast, goes into the bathroom, like puts out all her skincare stuff that she needs, takes off her uniform that she normally hangs and put it like where she normally gets dressed. And then turns on the car for her, she does all her things and then sees her off. Like he does that every morning for her.
Wow.
So like it comes out, if he wants to, he would. If he wanted to, he would. A lot of the men are capable of doing a lot of those things and are able to do it for the person that they love. But then other men who thinks that, they don't have to do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
But I think society is starting to nip that stuff like now, because there's a lot more videos kind of speaking on the men being the provider, or a lot more videos kind of speaking on people just doing the bare minimum. And you can tell by the comments or the stitches that we're recognizing that that's just what they're supposed to do. As a human being, that's what you do for the people that you love. So, unless you do something grand, you're doing just the bare stuff that you're supposed to be doing in the first place.
Yeah, I feel like society is like starting to change a little bit. Like people are not stuck into the old traditional norms. So this is a female duty in the house, and this is a male duty in the house. Like I see females change all in the cars. I see females mow the lawn and stuff. They just like it just depends how. I guess how you're raised too, because
But then also, then what's the man doing, right?
Yeah.
So like, if I'm better at mowing the lawn, then I can mow the lawn. But then like, what's happening inside the house?
Yeah.
Are you changing the diapers because you're good at that?
Yeah.
You want
Or
to?
are you cooking dinner for
Because
the
you
night?
like to cook?
Because you like to cook.
Yeah, and there are a lot of men who like to cook, and they are like the person who cooks in the house.
Yeah, and I've seen like stay-at-home dads too.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Yeah,
It never
yeah,
used to be, but now they're like stay-at-home dads have decided I'm gonna stay home to save some money on daycare.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think I'll do that.
I think it could have worked.
That's just me. I will never do it.
you pass that down.
Yeah, I have to be up there doing stuff.
I think I would consider.
I would
Yeah.
love to be a stay. Yeah, I think I would.
So to conclude, so what are some action steps that we can, some healthy action step that we can set to help address this laziness issue that we see in relationships today? Like some of the things that we can do to be able to tackle lazy partners in relationships. Action steps.
Recognize yourself.
Like,
Self-recognition.
do you think people actually recognize that they're lazy?
No,
Some
like
people
for
just
you,
don't care, right?
the
Yeah.
non-lazy one.
Okay. Yeah.
To kind of take a look at yourself and be like, okay, am I being reasonable in what I'm bringing forth?
Yeah.
Does this make sense, what I'm bringing forth? If you know that there are some areas in which you're kind of staggering as well, maybe align those first or fix that first, and then bring it up and have a communication, not an argument, but communicate with your spouse and just let them know in a respectful manner that, hey, stuff needs to change here.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, and I think addressing those issues, like you're saying, don't let him build up and build up and build up, and the guy just think, yeah, we've been married 7 years and you've never said this. Now is when you're thinking,
Exactly. Now you're bringing it up after
Yeah.
10 years of dating. Now you're wanting to get married. Which one?
like all of a sudden,
Yeah.
it's hard to change habits.
Especially
You
once
know?
it's already too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once it's said, it's said.
Yeah.
And I think also it's important to, sometimes accountability is good, and accountability could be in form of like bringing a third party person in your situation and being
A neutral.
a neutral
third
third party. Yes.
Counseling, yeah.
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 To come in and
Not
talk
like
to you
your
guys.
best friend who
No,
you've been
no.
complaining to for 7 years.
And talking about
Yeah.
it and setting those boundaries together with somebody else, being accountable for both of you, and then trying to see if that will fix the situations. Because sometimes people feel like it's between me and my spouse, or it's between me and my partner. We will figure it out.
Yeah.
But you're probably never gonna figure
Yeah.
out.
Some things you need to bring it to Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. Jesus is
Yeah.
always there, no matter what. But sometimes you need another human to come in between and talk. That can.
With Jesus.
With Jesus and can talk in with you guys and try to hash things up instead of like hoping that someday he will see what I told him say. No,
Exactly. Yeah.
sometimes it's hearing from somebody else. It makes a lot of sense than hearing from your partner. Because it makes it like, oh, so she was right. If she's saying it, I think it's something that I actually was affecting her.
If they had to bring it to someone else,
Yeah.
it means she tried to solve it by herself with you,
And it wasn't
it
working.
didn't work.
Yeah.
So the fact that she brought it to somebody else should make you like, well,
Yeah.
this is really has been impacting her.
Yeah.
So,
And it's for Africans, sometimes it's not easy for that. Like Africans don't it's a secret. Like they make it's like our secret. It's not a secret no more
and that's
because
what
it's
takes
hurting
you
you.
to your
Right?
death.
When it's hurting you, it's no longer
That'd be sad.
it's no longer a family issue, right?
Living life unhappy.
Yeah,
because
so
it's
you
our
can't-
secret.
You can't do that. You have to talk to somebody and involve people in situations like that to try to solve it, or else you're just gonna live like that for the rest of your life.
Oh.
And hoping that Jesus would do it. But Jesus
He
is
can
giving
fix
you that
it, but
opportunity.
hey,
Jesus is giving the
He's
opportunity to bring other people in your life to help, or maybe that's the only way God wants you to solve that issue, by bringing somebody else, because sometimes that's how God works. It's good to pray, and especially as Christians who pray to your spouse, pray and pray, but you can pray, but sometimes I'm like, I need to take that step to
do stuff. Yeah.
to do stuff. And one of the steps is like inviting people in you guys' relationship to try to help out. Because I don't think God was just stupid to bring people in your life. Like all these people that you have a relationship with are there for a reason, to support you in one way or the other. Not only when you're happy or when things are going good. It's like even on those hard times, like you need to allow people in your relationship to help out. We've done it before, and help, try to help us fix things because we sucked at it. Right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes people think they just, we'll figure this out. We'll figure it out. But then it's 3 years later, 4 years later, 7 years later. And those behaviors just get harder and harder to stop, So it's important to allow other people in your life to be able to help you out. So,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. So I don't know what you guys think. Or maybe you have a spouse that's driving you crazy because they're lazy. A boyfriend, girlfriend, or somebody like that. What do you think? What is some of things you've done to try to resolve this in your relationship? Because this is something that a lot of us are dealing with. We might be laughing about it here, but there's somebody actually like really dealing with this right now.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely.
And if you have strong opinions about men's laziness, let us know.
Yes,
comment
or laziness, or if you think females are all just as lazy, let us know.
But should not let us know we're not.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some out there, but hey.
I've never met
You've never met a lazy female?
Let's
Thank
thank you so much. Please
Thank you so much.
comment.
This has been
Please
Please
subscribe. Please
Yes.
comment.
Let us know.
Talk to us.
Challenges.
Follow us on all
if we say something
social
that
media.
you felt like it was not accurate, let us know.
And we're coming soon on TikTok.
Yeah. Yes, please. So keep listening,
Yeah.
keep following us, keep sharing, doing all that stuff. And thank you for
Appreciate it.
listening
Thank you
to
so much.
Mutuni Watu.
Bye. Have a good day.
Yes, thank you. You've been listening to Mutuni Watu podcast. We hope you enjoyed listening to our show. Don't forget to subscribe and click on that notification button so you get notified when we upload a new episode. You can also listen to all our episodes at mutuniwatu.com or your favorite podcast app. Follow us also on Facebook and Instagram. And thank you very much.
Wayfair's Labor Day clearance is back. Now through September 3rd, score up to 70% off everything home. Plus, end summer with can't miss surprise flash deals. Because at Wayfair, new season means new savings. Like up to 70% off rugs, up to 50% off bedroom furniture, up to 60% off kitchen essentials, and up to 50% off dining furniture. All with fast shipping right to your doorstep. Shop Wayfair's Labor Day clearance now through September 3rd for up to 70% off.
Wayfair, every style, every home.